This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I am Jack Danger, along with Jay Gatling. How you doing today, sir?
I am doing great, Jack, and I'm just surprised you're not wearing your Miami Dolphins gear. I was expecting to see you fully decked out, but okay, fine.
Well, yeah, after we have won 4 in a row and 5 of our last 6, if I must say so myself. But yeah, no, I don't think the hat would fit over the earmuffs, and I gotta wear the earmuffs. I don't feel right. I feel naked without them. So I just couldn't do it, Maybe I'll get a Dolphins tattoo on my forehead if we ever win the Super Bowl.
Well, wait a minute. You could have looked like a head coach with that headset on.
That's true. I could have, but I can't have the hat on. I just can't. It wouldn't do service to the hat, And I'm more loyal to the hat than I am the show.
All right, fine. All right, I understand.
As I'm sure many of you know, that some of the craziest things have gone on lately, especially the last few days. You had the shooting at Brown University. You had the mass murders in Australia. I mean, there's been so many things going on, and the main thing that I wanted to do was kind of talk about, especially at the beginning here, how this all relates to the global cabal. And most people may not even know what that is, but it is actually a little more than a handful. Maybe it could even be, between 200 and 300 people. I don't actually know who they are because, and I was talking to Jay about this, before the show, and the people that actually run the world, the people that actually take advantage of, of everything from shipping problems to violence to this or that, any kind of crisis, emergencies, any kind of, gold shortages. The thing that they do, the people that do these things, that are able to take advantage of these things or actually manufacture these things, are actually people you've never heard of. It's not going to be the Larry Finks, the CEO of Blackstone or whatever it is. These are going to be people that you've never heard of because, as I was telling Jay, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And these people, as far as you and I are concerned, do not exist. We don't know who they are, and we will never know who they are. They are the people that have the real power, that pull the strings. They're the people that have the blackmail info on people in Congress. They're the people that, basically what they do is they pluck people out of obscurity and run them to be politicians and then own their power, like a Barack Obama, like a Vivek Ramaswamy. No offense, but he came out of nowhere, so I still don't trust him. Like a Vivek Ramaswamy, like a Barack Obama, like the other people that you see all over. But my friends, there is hope, Jay. There is hope. Before we talk about the Australian thing, Jay, I wanted to show you something. I wanted to show everybody this. Check this out, okay? I am going to share this with everybody. And this proves, Jay, that there is hope, okay?
All right, I need some hope. I need it now. Let's go.
What many of you may not know is that over the last week, the entire Bulgarian government resigned. The entire government of Bulgaria has resigned. And why? Because they were pushing the leftist BS that everybody hates. They were pushing that leftist BS. Look at this protest right here. Take a look at this. This is a mass protest in Bulgaria. Okay? The entire government there has resigned because of these mass protests, because of what these people did. And you can look it up. I'm talking the entire government resigned. And so I must say that there is hope. This is the way forward, not just protesting, but it's got to be massive, because it's either going to be violence or it's going to be mass protesting, not protesting where one city protests. This was the entire country, Jay, and they brought their country's government down because most of the people went out there.
Well, I'm just hoping, Jack, that we don't have a what date was this? I hope they don't have a, was it a 12/14 or whenever it was, a 12/10 I thought I saw.
Yeah, it was December 10th.
Yeah, okay. I hope that their 12/10 doesn't turn into our J6, where whoever is in the government goes after everybody in that crowd and tries to throw them in a gulag. Let's just
no, every single one of them resigned, and as of right now, they're looking for a new cabinet.
Well, listen. Well, I guess then, and it doesn't sound like to me, Jack. You would have heard, I guess, that a shot was not fired.
No, not a single shot.
not a single shot fired, not anything. So it looks like the people of Bulgaria came out en masse and made a real change. Good for them.
And you see what you just said, though? They came out en masse, not little groups here and there, not one city here and there. The entire country, if not every single person, if at least half the people came out in every single city. Imagine if half of the people in every city in America came out for 7 nights in a row, 14 nights in a row. The government would collapse. There is a way forward.
Yeah, listen, it does give you some hope. And listen, we wouldn't even need half. We this country is so big. Half. We wouldn't need half. We probably wouldn't even need a quarter. You'd probably need 10% of every large city to show up at one time in Washington, D.C. peacefully to air the grievance that we have and grievances that we have with our government. And real change would probably happen. And you know what? That goes for state governments. It goes for local governments. That goes down to your local school board. A lot of times, Jack, and I'll put it this way, when it comes to local, and we always talk about how important local is. If you show up at a school board meeting and they've never seen your face before, guess what? I bet you they talk amongst themselves and say, who's that? And what are they doing here? And they heard us talk. What are they, and if you probably show up to a couple of them and just keep your mouth shut and just listen, take everything in, learn about how things work. And then you go, and then you go back a third time and then you start speaking up. That's a shock to the system for a lot of these people because they kind of do this stuff in the open, but in secret while they're in the open because nobody goes, nobody gets involved. And the next thing you know, your kids are learning about transgender Asian studies in 3rd grade. And you're like, well, how the hell did this happen? Well, because nobody's showing up at a school board meeting. Nobody knows who's getting in. And they're basically getting in by rubber stamp. And then you have a real problem. And then you got to fight back. But if you start showing up, you could make a difference.
And you're absolutely right. And this proves it. First, there's never, at least in recent times, there hasn't been proof that, a mass that the people have the power. The people don't realize that they have the power. You can now I'm going to be real with you. If the Bulgarian government sent police out there to go out and shoot and just kill everybody, then, probably everybody's going to scatter and not come back out. But for that to happen, there's going to be many people then. The more people you kill, the more enemies you make. If you kill this person, his entire family is now your enemy. You kill 20 people, their entire family and friends are now your enemy. So it's better just to not kill them, quietly resign, rather than, be strung up in the town square. So I think it's much better the way they went about this. And the Bulgarian government had the right idea. Resign rather than force. Because if you use force and you end up hurting some people, they are going to really come after you then. They're just looking for an excuse. Right now, and they showed the way forward here. And I want to say that when you see things like the horrific mass murder in Australia, the shooting at Brown University, when you see these things, the canceling of the New Year's Eve celebrations in Paris, France, every single one of these things are by design. Now, I'm not saying that they're planned. I'm not saying that, the Global Cabal planned these things, because how could you plan every little thing? But what they do is they create the circumstances for it to happen. What do? They disarm everybody. They disarm you. And then you're a sitting duck. That's why Muslims were able to go in there and shoot people and nobody, and the police, by the way, also stood there for 20 minutes, women with their hands up, female cops, hands up. There was a third officer hiding behind a vehicle while a civilian had to go tackle one of those people with the gun. A civilian had to go tackle one of those people with the gun while the cops, the female cops, mind you, standing there with their hands up like this. Another cop ducking behind a vehicle. Civilians have got to fight for themselves because the government is not coming to save you.
No. And listen, I was one of those agents of the government as a police officer, because you are an agent of government, that was, quote unquote, coming to save you. And if I could, I absolutely would. But again, police have a response time. Police aren't always, quote, we all know they're not on every corner, and they're, quote unquote, never there when you need them. So no one is coming to save you. You're 100% right. You need to be able to help yourself and help others if necessary. The man who tackled that is an incredible video. If you haven't seen it, everybody, get the video of this man who, I think he got shot twice, Jack, if I'm not mistaken. and he
I didn't
jumped
see him get shot. He may have, though. I didn't see that part.
I read that he did get shot, I believe in the leg and maybe in the shoulder or something. But he jumped on him, disarmed him, and then didn't shoot him, let him like run away, and then because he didn't want to be mistaken for a terrorist, put his hands up and put the gun down against the tree. I mean, talk about a hero. That guy is a hero. Now, the police response in Australia that I saw just on the video, the most striking part of it about me was once both of those terrorists were down, they had zero control over this crime scene. Zero.
Absolutely.
There were people running in. There were people kicking them. Now, I get it. You want to kick them. I understand. They just shot 50 people, or how many people killed? 20 people,
15, I believe. Yeah.
15 people. I get it. You want to take out a lot of things on those individuals, those monsters. I understand, but that is an active crime scene now. It has to be preserved. And people's like, well, we know who did it. No, that's not that. We get that, but there could be things there. There's evidence lying around these guys.
So you said that was the most shocking part to you?
No, to me, you're watching it as far as from being in a law enforcement perspective. Well, first of all, anybody that's not firing back, that's shocking.
I would have thought, to me anyway, the female cops with their hands up.
I didn't see that.
The most shocking part to me.
I did not see that, and I'd love to see that video because that to me, that's absolutely shocking. I said the most shocking part that I saw. I didn't see that part. The most shocking part as I saw was just the lack of control over that crime scene, and I was just like, "What are you guys doing? Get those people out of there! You got to get everybody away from that entire area. Is a crime scene, Jack. That entire beach is a crime scene. It's just." Once again, it looks like nobody knows what they're doing. And I saw that again, the way it looks in Brown University. Now, as much as people want to criticize the Charlie Kirk investigation, the people in Brown said, hold my case of beer, because I don't know what the hell was going on in Brown. And I'm always someone that says, wait for the investigation. A lot of times they can't talk. They hold information for a reason, blah, blah, blah. And that's true. But if you have nothing to say, don't hold a press conference, and certainly don't hold a press conference taking many of the people you need in contact with their officers out of the loop. They're sitting there, Jack, for a half hour answering questions, but not really even answering questions while there's still somebody at large. And I'm saying, what's going on here? You shouldn't be at this in front of a microphone. You should be at the command center in contact with everybody you can to try and find this shooter. And guess what? We still don't have him.
No, you're absolutely right. But going back to the Australia one, I wanted to show you where there is, I'm trying to find the video actually of the female cops actually frozen with their hands up. It was actually pretty shocking. What I do have here, though, is I wanted to show you the video where the civilian actually subdued this person, which was awesome, by the way. It was absolutely awesome. But here's the photo. I can't find the video at the moment, but there's the photo. They had their hands up at the moment when they got there. For some reason, they were holding their hand. It looked like they were frozen in time in front of this guy.
Jack, I need context on this because
I don't have the actual video for that. But what I do have is I can show you one of the pictures that I do have that needs no context. Here is one of the officers hiding behind the vehicle right here. Two women froze with hands up, and this coward was hiding behind the vehicle. That's one thing. But I am going to show you the video of the civilian who actually subdued this person. That was awesome, I must say. You're going to hear, some pretty hard sounds, but just take a look.
Oh! C'est un malade. Oh mon gros! Oh! Mais il est son pote, il va se faire tirer dessus. Il est trop con, le mec qui a l'arme.
Now, you can hear the other man continuing to fire as this person is subdued. And I will say that he does not shoot the man, which I would have at least shot him in the leg so he couldn't get away. He does not shoot the man. The man just scurries away. But he does stop the man from killing anybody else.
I'm probably dropping him because I'm going to assume this is a terrorist. I'm going to assume that he's going for another weapon. And if he doesn't stop moving and put his hands up and he makes any movement, which he did towards his waistband a little bit, he's going down. But that's just me. But as far as those cops hiding behind the car, again, there's still photos. I need to see video because you could be reloading. She could be reloading during that time behind the car. again, I want to see everything before I, Monday morning quarterback that stuff. And that's just my background in law enforcement.
There's video of it. I've actually seen the video. So you can see the video.
I will look at it. But again, from a still photo, I need context on the hands up and I need context on the hiding behind the car.
I'll tell you one thing that you don't need context on.
Go ahead.
They were there for 20 minutes before they even went after these people.
That right there, again, in this country now, ever since Columbine, the training, remember what happened at Columbine, Jack? When Columbine happened,
they were out there for hours listening to those kids get killed.
They sat out there waiting for the quote unquote the SWAT team to go in. We don't do that anymore here. It's the first officer on the scene goes in.
Wait now. You're not supposed to do that anymore.
Correct.
But Uvalde has proven that cops do still do that.
Yeah, that was also, I believe, in Florida, correct? In Parkland,
Texas.
No, that was Uvalde. The one in Florida where it was that one.
Oh, you're talking about another one. Yeah, in Parkland. Yeah.
Yep. Where the officer, I believe, who was assigned to the school, didn't exactly run in there and try to take them out.
They just allow everybody. They wait until the shooting stops. They wait until everybody's killed, and then the guy kills themselves.
No, that's not the way it's supposed to work. And a lot of times, plenty of cops do risk their lives to rush in.
No, there are good cops. Don't get me wrong.
That's the training, Jack. That was the training. I went through it several times. I went through active shooter training several times. And the immediate first thing they tell you, you get in there and you find the threat and you neutralize the threat. You do not wait anymore for quote unquote specialized units or SWAT teams. That all went out the window in Columbine. Whether or not the training is adhered to, hey, that's another story.
Well, see, you're talking about training. There are also orders where there are some places that'll tell you, I didn't know I was like now I'm not criticizing all cops, obviously, because there's a lot of good cops out there. But I've seen times where cops say, I heard from somebody that we're not supposed to go in there. I've seen from times where, they said that actual orders where they're not supposed to go in there, even though they're trained to go in there. Because nobody wants to be the one to get in trouble. Oh, I sent my guy in there and he got killed. Oh, I went in there and I wasn't supposed to and I shot the nobody wants to do so. They're scared to death now because of all of the defund the police bullshit. That's what they're scared of now. Every little thing is scrutinized. So rather than go in there and save people, they wait outside for orders to do so.
Well, let me say this. If the training you are getting from your department, your municipality, your city, whatever it is, tells you to go in, you go in, because even if somebody orders you not to, hey, I'm following my training. Now, there could be circumstances unbeknownst where maybe there's a chemical agent that they might be afraid of you. Maybe they're afraid there's a bomb in there. There could be. But if your training says to do something, you will do it. That's what you were trained to do. You will be covered if something, God forbid, goes wrong. And if you're not, well, that's another problem. But you will be covered. Think about it that way. I'm doing what I was trained to do. These tools I wear in my belt, this weapon that I have, this shield that I wear shows me I can do this. I was trained to do it. You do it. You follow your training. And guess what, Jack? If you don't follow your training, a lot of times you end up hurt or dead.
No, you're absolutely right. You will. And that's why training is extremely important. I will say that going back to the whole globalist cabal thing, how they what they're doing now is, and it's something they've been doing for a long time. Right now, it's Australia's turn, where they're trying to get the more stricter gun laws. America, other countries now, the UK especially, even though the UK, you can't really have a gun. In Australia, you can't really have a gun without licenses and all this other stuff. They're trying to make it harder now. Eventually, what they want to do is get you disarmed because they know you won't be able to defend yourself from jihad. And I'm going to tell you the straight up truth. Here is the globalist cabal plan for the 2030 agenda. What they do first is they disarm everybody. They make crime go up. They make everything get really bad for every country that they can. Then they import migrants. I'm talking lots of Muslims and Islamist extremists, not just Muslim extremists, but Africans, South Americans, anybody that will commit hardcore crimes and is extreme about it. I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the people that are crossing the borders these past 4 years are actually military age males. There's a reason for that. It's because they want them to inflict as much carnage as possible. Same with why they're letting criminals out on no cash bail and all these other things all over the world. It's not just happening in America, all over the world. Why? Because they can come in and save you. What's going to happen in, say, what is it now? 2025? Give it 3 or 4 more years. They are going to come in 2030 and they are going to save you. They're going to save the UK. They're going to save Australia. They're going to save America. And then they are going to say, we can save you. We can stop all this. We can make it all stop. But you got to come over to our way of thinking, our ideology. But they're not going to say it like that. What they're going to do is they're going to start at one country at a time. Look what we just did for England. We just did that for England. Communism did that for England. We can do it for you too, America. We can do it for you too.
Yeah, and they can't. It's all a big lie, because once you cede that to them, guess what happens? You ever see the movie The Hunger Games? Mm-hmm. There you have it.
They'll clean it up. They'll clean it up, but only because they want you to believe in their ideology. They want your country to be communist, not capitalist anymore.
Oh yeah, they'll clean it up for a little while.
Yeah, exactly.
Until everything goes to hell.
See, that's the thing. You create a problem, you solve the problem.
Correct. Just like they're trying to do with the border here with it's Cloward Piven. We went through that last week a little bit. Mm-hmm. In Australia, Jack, the one guy that was on the bridge firing that bolt action. Mm-hmm. First of all, he looked real good with that weapon. I mean, very proficient. Secondly, though I believe 6 weapons were used, all legally registered to him. Now,
that's true.
Right? In Australia, there are no, from what I understand, no carry. You cannot carry concealed, open, nothing, never. Yeah. So there's no one that was going to be on that beach or in the vicinity of that beach that was going to be able to fire back and take those guys out unless they were the cops or another agent of government. So no civilians had a chance to do anything to those guys other than the one hero who jumped on the guy's back and disarmed him. So that's what you're dealing with. Now, we can never, ever let that happen in the United States, because I'm not turning into England. I'm not turning into Australia. And I know you aren't either. And I know everybody watching doesn't want it to happen.
Well, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you exactly what their plan is for America. I have told you their plan for all the other countries. All the other countries don't have a strong enough constitution to hold back the government. But let me tell you what their plan is for America. Digital ID and then a social credit score. And I'm going to tell you right now, the digital ID will usher in the social credit score. The social credit score will disarm you. And I'm going to tell you why. Oh, sure, guns are legal. Guns are going to be legal. They're not going to mess with the 2A. But the social credit score, if you have a gun, your social credit score is going to be a 5 instead of a 10. You're not going to be able to go to this place to eat. You're not going to be able to rent an apartment over there. You're not going to be able to shop at this grocery store. You're not going to be able to turn on an expensive car. You have to use a toy, this toy car over here. I'm telling you, it will usher in social credit score. What they will do is they will outlaw guns without outlawing guns. Okay? It's just like if they were to say they put a 10,000% tax on every gun. Nobody could afford to buy a gun. It's the same thing. They will outlaw guns without outlawing guns. They're not messing with your Second Amendment right. But if you choose to exercise that Second Amendment right, if you choose to have that gun, you will not be able to work here. You won't be able to get that job. You won't be able to, like I said, have that car. You will not be able to live there. Oh, no, you're going to have to live over there. I'm telling you right now, that social credit score has millions of people homeless in China right now. Wait till you see what it does to America if you have a gun.
It's almost like a forced coercion.
That's like exactly what it is.
Yeah, like what they did with COVID, with the vaccine. Well, it's not, man, you could quit your job.
Exactly.
But you don't have to get it. Well, wait a minute. If I quit my job, I don't put food on my table, so I guess I'm going to get it. So it's the same kind of thing.
Same exact thing. So I say they outlaw it without outlawing it.
Yeah, and that's why we need smart people in office who are thinking about this stuff. Mm-hmm. People go, this is crazy. This is tinfoil hat. No, it's really not. It's not.
Actually already happening in China and the UK.
Yeah, it's happening in other places. And we need people in office who are thinking about this stuff now, who are going to say, no, absolutely not. We're not doing this here. And that's why I say, when you get involved locally, know who you are electing for dog catcher on up, because you want them to understand what this is all about. You want them to know that these things are going to happen if we don't stop it. And I'm not saying stop it with a violent any violence. I'm saying you stop it by getting people into office, and we need fair elections to do that. That's another whole story, but we need fair elections to do it. That is how we stop it. And we can, and we will. I have faith. I have hope. I'm going to think positive. We are going to stop this here. We have the Constitution to back us. We're going to do it, Jack. I'm not allowing it to happen. I will beat the streets if I have to. This ain't happening.
Well, the thing is, now Bulgaria has shown us a way. If you can get out there en masse, and the thing is, the reason that the whole government resigned is because these people were out there en masse, so there was nobody operating the trains. There was nobody operating the buses. There was nobody, operating the government buildings or any of these other places. There was nobody at your taco stand. Nobody, changing oils. There was no car on the street. Nothing. The whole country was at a standstill because nobody was working. They were all protesting. And that is how they got freedom in Bulgaria. That is how they got a new government in Bulgaria. They can now pick who they want in Bulgaria. And that is the only way forward to bring the country to a standstill. Protests are not going to work if, you have half the people protesting and everybody else is still at work doing their jobs. It's not going to work. You have to stop the production. That's what you have to do. Stop being productive. If it takes a week, if it takes 2 weeks. Yes, that's what I said, Raina. It's a small country, but how you organize something like that here is very difficult. But I think they killed the one man that could have done it. And that might have been another reason why they killed him. Because he was one of the one people that could have organized young people to get out there and do something like this. And that's one of the reasons they killed him.
It could very well be that's a whole different topic. And you're right, though, Jack. What they accomplished with doing that and assassinating Charlie Kirk, that what you just said, and basically he was the glue. Now that he's gone, we know he was kind of the glue holding this all together, holding this coalition that was formed over the past, few years, not even few years, probably over the past presidential campaign with President Trump. He was the glue holding it together, in my opinion, because it's gone so out of whack and fractured. Whatever the fractures were have now reappeared.
Well, see, the fractures are over his killing, though. That's what caused it.
Well, yeah, okay, you could say it, but I mean, the fractures might have been there, but he was the glue kind of keeping it together. His assassination, I mean, just made it break apart wherever it was kind of like a vacuum. And
see, if he died from like a heart attack, I don't think it would have been fractured. But see, since he was assassinated, that's what. Let's say it was a little crack. The fractures were like this. They were little cracks. When he was assassinated, they broke open a little more to where now all the water's rushing in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And I think that it's just, what was I going to say? Like with what you say, it was fractured a little bit. Okay, fine. But he was the glue. And now the vacuum had to be filled. Even with a heart attack, Jack, here's what I was thinking. Even with a heart attack, somehow, some way, people would have figured out a way to make that some kind of thing where, it wasn't a heart attack. It was, you know what I mean? It was just
probably so.
Charlie Kirk was just this once in a lifetime figure who was probably somebody that could have been president one day. And a lot of people think
he would have been president. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how special of a person he was. And we have some work to do, and there's still time to do the work. And I think some people are going to come around, even if they don't agree with everything. I'm one of those people. I don't agree with everything, but I'm not going to throw this baby out with the bathwater, because if we do, we're finished. Think about this. We just talked about the Second Amendment. We've talked about the First Amendment. If Donald Trump had lost to Hillary Clinton in 2016, we would have a completely different Supreme Court right now. And you think that Supreme Court was going to uphold the Second Amendment or the First Amendment? We would have a completely different country right now if he didn't win that election. So it's that fragile.
Well, that's what I've told your predecessor, James Clary, many times, is that as whoever owns the Supreme Court owns the country, because the Supreme Court can strike down an entire constitutional amendment if they want. It would take every country. It would take 2/3 of the countries in America to remove a constitutional amendment. It would only take 9 people in robes, actually 5 people in black robes, to strike down the entire Constitution if they wanted to. But let me tell you, well, actually, that's not true, because they actually have to abide by whatever the Constitution says.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I know.
You know
exactly
what I mean? They can strike down everything if they want to. They can say that this act, the way they interpret it is what is law. Let's say they say, okay, it says well-regulated militia. So it's only for state-regulated militias that you can have arms if they wanted to do that.
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying. the Supreme Court is literally the last defense of freedom in America. And if there's, if it's a liberal Supreme Court, I can promise you they can't strike down the Second Amendment, but they can interpret it any way they want.
It'll be death by 1,000 cuts is what it would be. And they would do it. They would do it fast, because we know when the Democrats take power, they're not afraid to use it. Unlike the Republicans, who are terrified of power, terrified of using power. In this case, that 77 million people gave them by electing Donald Trump in my opinion, landslide election. When you win all 7 swing states, when you have a Republican win the popular vote, that is a devastating election for the Democrats. And we still have Republicans who are afraid to use the power that we said, please use it. This is what we want. Please, we're begging you.
No, you're absolutely right. Deborah brings up a good point. Is there a way to get someone off the bench? Yes, it's called impeaching, but it's not a good enough way. It's a long process, and it has to be multiple people have to be involved in this process. There needs to be a better way and a quicker way to remove a judge from a bench. Let's say this. Let's say, forget the impeachment. Let's say that they are removed pending investigation. If they're in the middle of an impeachment or an investigation, they should be removed from the bench. They shouldn't be having to let us stay on the bench and keep doing rulings and shit, because then you can't remove anybody immediately. You can push an impeachment years if you want to, just like a court case. So none of these judges are ever held accountable for anything they do. So what are they going to do? They're going to do whatever the global cabal wants them to do. You see, the thing is, for the global cabal to get what they want, which is Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030 is basically the en masse surrender to the global cabal and their way of life, what they want, basically, for the world, which, is basically, oh God, what is it? It's obedient. There's like a word for it. It's obedient, something or other. I can't think of the damn word, but it has something to do with slavery and obedience. I cannot think of the word that goes with it, but that's basically what they want. And the way to get it is through their agenda. And it's happening with all the other countries, stricter gun laws, all the Mohammeds being, imported. And that's all happening for a reason. See, they know that Islam is the religion. Well, I don't even call it a religion. It's really more of an ideology, if you ask me. And if we characterize it, if Donald Trump would characterize it as an ideology through executive order, it would no longer have religious protections, which I think he should do, because I don't think it's a religion. I think it's an ideology. And so if whatever they do, they use Islam as, like Charlie Kirk said, not just the sword to slit the throat of America, but the sword to slit the throat of the entire world, because they know that this is a religion that kills. This is a religion that dominates. This is a religion that conquers. They're not going to go to any country to assimilate. They're going to go to those countries to kill and conquer until every last person adheres to Sharia law. And all they have to do is get these people to infiltrate all these countries. And then when they commit the mass shootings, they say, oh, we're going to make stricter gun laws. We're going to take guns away from Australians, not the Muslims. No. We're not going to take guns away from the Muslims. We're going to take them away from the people that could have stopped the Muslims, because we don't want them to stop the Muslims.
Don't we have kind of an arsonist fireman thing going on here in a way?
What do you mean?
Well, we have a fireman. I'm going to start the fire. I'm going to cause it, and then I'm going to put it out.
No. That's the whole point. Is they create the problem, they solve the problem. Same thing,
and then act like a hero. Oh,
that's the thing.
That's it.
They are firefighters starting the fire and then going. They're going to be the first ones there to put out the fire, and I'm the hero. Now you got to do what I want.
Yep, it's an arsonist fireman. I mean, we have a lot of those. We have a lot of them already who cause the problems. Like, oh, we'll fix it. Listen, like the Democrats with Obamacare, right? Mm-hmm. And what you guys caused all of it. No Republican ever voted for it, but now you're going to fix it. You started the fire. We're going to trust you to put it out? No, thank you. But you know what the end game is with that, and this is just an example, is single-payer health care. Oh, yeah, we're going to fix it. This is going to be great. You see all these problems you're having now? See, your premiums went up. We tried to do the Obamacare, but it wasn't full-fledged. Trust us. If we go full-fledged with this system, everybody's going to get free health care, quote unquote. And you'll be so happy. Oh, my God. It would be the worst thing that ever happened to you. Please don't buy into that.
Boy, that was out of left field. I was like, what's going on?
I know. I'm just bringing up an arsonist fireman example.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about health insurance. I'm like, what's going on here?
It's just an example. Please, I don't want to talk about health insurance. Let's move on.
I hear you there. No, I hear you there. No, that's actually a very good example because they started that problem, then they want to come in and try to solve it. But the fix is always worse than the problem. They fix it. And I'm going to give you a great example. It is just like when Gavin Newsom, and this is an excellent segue because I want to talk about the bankruptcy of California that will be happening very shortly. So it's just like when Gavin Newsom did a cosmetic cleanup of homelessness for, the head of China to come in. He did a cosmetic cleanup. There were no more homelessness in San Francisco. It was cured. Soon as he left, all the homeless are right back out on the street. That is exactly what they are doing with us. They will fix the problem, and as soon as we give them the crown, they will let the problems right back in and forget we even existed. That's the whole point of this. But let me tell you something that's interesting. People know that California is already highly mismanaged, but let me tell you, they are about to go bankrupt. And let me tell you why. Actually, and this is very interesting. I think you'll find this interesting. And I'm talking the bad part though is that the federal government will never let a state go bankrupt, so they're just going to bail out California, which is absolutely horrible. But their oil production, how California has all these rules and regulations that have to do with their oil production, right? They can only have certain kind of gas because it's due to some kind of emissions thing that they deal with. So it's really strange. Anyway, sometime in December, the Phillips 66 refinery is closing. That is a refinery that gives them about 150,000 barrels of oil per day that they can produce. Guess what? In April, there's another refinery closing that is willing to take and they are doing this. They are taking a $1 billion loss just so they can leave California. They're taking a $1 billion loss, and with those two refineries closing, it's going to equal about a quarter of a billion barrels of oil production per day that California is losing. And guess what? That's 17% of their overall oil production. Gas prices are going to spike by April, $1.50 per gallon, and all of their, well, not all, but most of the oil and gasoline they get is going to have to come from Southeast Asia. You want to know why? Because the standards that California sets for their gasoline, there's only a few refineries in the world that can even make that that even have the equipment to make that standard of gasoline, because they put all these regulations on these gas companies, right? So with that happening, it takes 30 or 40 days for those oil tankers to get from Southeast Asia to California. If there's even a storm, if there's even a slight disruption, pirates, whatever it is, the entire gas shortage could throw California into an uproar. Let me tell you that with these two things closing, and I cannot believe they're taking $1 billion loss just to leave California.
Yeah, but with these two,
I'm sorry?
What does that tell you?
That tells me that exactly what I'm saying with they have way too many regulations. But see, the thing is, with this happening, by the time that California goes under completely, Gavin Newsom will be skating off into the sunset because he's going to be the Democrat nominee in 2028. And let me tell you, these gas prices will start in 2026 in April when the second refinery closes. And then and you can't get the best part is California can't get gas from any other state in the country. They can't get gas from Canada, can't get gas from Mexico because their standards are so much different. There are so many regulations on California gasoline that they have to get it from Southeast Asia or in-house. And their two in-house refineries are closing. They're taking $1 billion loss so they can close. California will be bankrupt by the time Gavin Newsom skates out in 2028. I guarantee it.
That's insane. Aren't they already running about a $17 billion deficit or something?
Oh, man.
Something like that. I mean, this guy is the worst, absolute worst. And you know what? He has that rail that I think like two maybe columns of a bridge bought, and it's $40 billion. The amount of money that Gavin Newsom has thrown down the toilet, and you just said it, he's going to try to be the presidential nominee for the Democrat Party. And now California, what you just said, yet a company that's willing to lose $1 billion, $1 billion just to get out of the state. What does that tell you? That tells you that they think even if we lose $1 billion, if we get out, we'll be better off. Think about that. Not
they
$1 million,
would be way better off.
Not 100 million, $1 billion.
With a B. People don't realize that's $1 billion with a B. That's $1 billion with a B.
That is insane. That's $1 billion is something that you can't even in your mind quantify or picture in a room. You just
That's the thing. Yeah.
You can't do it. So when we hear these numbers, just like, wow, $1 billion. Yeah, $1 billion. And this company, to them, it's real money. It's not just something in your mind. That is real money. And they're willing to say, we'll eat $1 billion just to get the hell out of here.
You're right. I am going to play this short video. I want you to see this. It kind of sums up what I was talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I want everybody to see this because I promise you, you will find it quite convincing. And I believe that they are going to go bankrupt very shortly. Here we go.
Valero just wrote off $1.1 billion. That is the cost they are taking to walk away from California rather than keep operating their Benicia refinery past April 2026. When a company takes $1 billion loss just to leave, you know something is seriously broken. This facility processes 145,000 barrels of oil per day, representing 8.6% of California's entire gasoline production. 400 workers have lost their jobs. 200 contractors are out of work. The city of Benicia loses 17% of its entire budget. And California drivers, they are about to get hammered with the worst gas prices in American history. University of California Davis economists calculate a 40 cents per gallon increase the moment Phillips 66 closes their Los Angeles refinery this December. Then another 81 cents when Valero shuts down 4 months later in April. That totals a $1.21 per gallon increase by August 2026. Your 15-gallon fill-up jumps from $70 to at least $95. The Stanford Energy Institute.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit here because I want you guys to see what I was talking about with the Southeast Asia stuff. I mean, it is crazy.
And we didn't even talk about the jobs, Jack. We didn't even talk about the jobs that are going to be lost.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of that, but we'll talk about that right after this. Carbob is the reason that this entire thing is happening. It sounds like a stupid name, but it's actually their regulations. Listen to this.
To understand the disaster unfolding, you need to know about Carbob, California reformulated gasoline blend stock for oxygenate blending. This is not regular gasoline. It is a specialized ultra-clean burning fuel mandated by California law. Refineries in Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana do not make it. You cannot just truck in regular unleaded from Arizona and call it a day. Only a handful of refineries worldwide have the equipment to produce Carbob. These facilities are in South Korea, India, and a couple in Singapore. That is basically your entire global supply chain for California-specific gasoline outside the state itself. When 17% of in-state production disappears, those Asian refineries become California's gas stations. The logistics are a nightmare. Tanker ships carrying gasoline take 30 to 40 days crossing the Pacific Ocean. The fuel you pump into your car in March was loaded onto a ship in January. Any disruption in that supply chain, whether a storm, equipment failure, or a spike in Asian demand, can leave California without gas.
That is absolutely insane. They're going to go bankrupt, I'm telling you.
How is nobody talking about this?
I don't know. It's shocking that nobody's talking about this because this is huge. I mean, we're talking about an entire state in the United States, perhaps the former grandest of all states, about to go under.
Jack, it's I believe it's the fourth largest economy in the world.
It is. But we're talking 17% of their entire gasoline production in state. They're going to have to get it all from Southeast Asia.
I don't even know what to say. As I said, but I will say again, Gavin Newsom is the worst. The fact that this guy is even in the running to be the presidential nominee for the Democrat Party tells me a lot of things, and it tells me how bad the Democrat Party is at this point. It's just, I mean, that's the best you guys can do. His record, Jack, the thing that makes a guy like Mamdani kind of hard to beat is that he had no record. You could attack his philosophy, you could attack his personality, you could attack some of the stuff he said, but he had no record to attack, right? Newsom's record is a feast. You could have a feast on this guy's record.
But see, records don't matter anymore for voters.
That, to me, that's insane. You have tangible results of what this man has done. Forget about what he did with COVID, the whole hypocrisy of everything he did with COVID while he's out eating in a restaurant and he's telling you, you can't walk on a beach with a mask. I mean, all of that stuff, besides his economic record, if it doesn't matter, I don't know what to say anymore. I just don't know what to say. Again, and I said this to Jack before the show, my newest way of having a conversation with somebody on, say, the left that doesn't agree with me, my first question is this: can biological men get pregnant? And if you can't answer the question properly within 2 seconds, it's not worth me having the conversation with you because you're not in a rational frame of thought. So my only thing I could say, Jack, is people aren't in a rational frame of thought when they're saying Gavin Newsom's going to be a good president.
Well, it's not even the fact that they think he's going to be a good president because they know he's not. It's the fact that it's the left versus the right. That's all it is in terms of the way the left sees it. They don't see it as America. They see it as left versus right. But Raina said it. You heard it here first. California's gas prices will spike by August of 2026, $1.21 per gallon at minimum, and California will be bankrupt by the time Gavin Newsom rolls out of the state. I want to show you guys something else. Now, I got a couple of good videos for you here tonight. I want you to see this too. This right here shows me how much I can't trust Director Patel. I want you to take a look at this.
All right,
and tell me if you trust the man that gives you this answer.
Let's see it.
Take a listen. Let me bring it up here. There we go. All right, take a listen.
Dr. Patel, as you know, my state, California, is home to the worst public infrastructure failure in U.S. history, known as California High-Speed Rail, although the name is probably a misnomer. Earlier this year, I joined your counterpart at the Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy, doing a compliance review of the federal money the state has received, and the outcome was that the state has not complied with the terms of its billions of dollars in funding because it hasn't actually built anything. And so that federal funding has now been cut off, but a lot of us in California still have questions as to where all the money went. We're 17 years in to this project, and absolutely nothing has been built. Not a single bit of track has been laid. There are no stations. There are no passengers. And the plan initially was to have the whole thing, LA to San Francisco, done by 2020 at a cost of $33 billion. Yet here we are in 2025, nothing has been built. And according to the New York Times, the project won't even be completed this century. And the total cost is now estimated to be over $130 billion. So I just wanted to ask you, do you think this is something that bears scrutiny, or can you confirm whether there's any kind of investigation going on at the FBI?
The FBI certainly can't investigate incompetence.
Right there. Right there, what he just said right there. That bothers me. Incompetence does not lose $30 billion without building a single thing. Okay? We're talking $30 billion and nothing was built. Not even a track was laid. There is not a single train car out there. You're telling me they burned $30 million accidentally, incompetently? No. The FBI can't scrutinize this. They can't investigate this. Oh, no, that's federal money. That answer worries me.
Okay, I want more. I get what he's right. You can't investigate quote unquote incompetence. Well, I kind of think you should. Maybe we should start doing that. Number one, you
actually can when it has to do with federal money.
Right. Well, number two, maybe there is an investigation going on. Maybe you can't talk. I'm going to wait, Jack.
He would have said,
Jack, something better happened. Again, like what we see in Minnesota, what we're now seeing in Ohio with the Somalian fraud. It's spread to Ohio now, where we have, Jack, somebody claiming up to $91,000 per year per individual for people who aren't disabled, okay, in Ohio now. So
but see, this worries me about Director Patel.
I get it. And it needs, and you're right to be worried. And that, I don't like the answer either. I don't. And I want this stuff there. Jack, you're right. $30 billion just doesn't disappear by accident.
And that's not incompetence. He said, I can't investigate incompetence. That means, and they didn't say incompetence. He did not say incompetence. He said, does this bear scrutiny or an investigation by the FBI? He said, we can't investigate incompetence. So basically, based on its label, that's what you can investigate and what you can't investigate. So the FBI can just say, It was incompetence. It's out of our hands.
I don't care. No, I agree. I want to hear this. Yeah, we're going to look into it at the very least.
So it's basically whatever they label it. If we say it's incompetence, then it's out of their hands. If we say it's fraud, then we might take a look at it. No, $30 billion does not disappear based on incompetence. That's way too much money.
It's theft.
It has to be. And he's like, it's incompetence. I can't do it.
I hope that there's more to that, Jack. I really do. I really do. Because you're right. It's a horrible answer. I hope there's more to it. I hope that they're not saying, okay, there was some incompetence, but we're also going to look into theft, fraud, and everything else that we can. That should be the answer because, right, that is our money. This is our money. This isn't Gavin Newsom's money. It's not Kash Patel's money. It's not Donald Trump's money. It's our money. And just like in Somalia with the thing going on in Minnesota and now Ohio, and I don't know where else this is going to go, we need to find out what happened here, and people need to go to prison. And you need to go to prison for a long time. And I don't want anybody getting away with this. I don't want, oh, well, we want to protect the, the people who are going to help us. And okay, maybe you need one or two of those whistleblowers, but everybody else who was in on this, who was committing this fraud, needs to go to jail.
I'm glad you said that. That segues into the very last video I have for you, because this is the most important one. Usually I don't play videos during shows.
No, these are great. I love this. Keep doing that.
This video is 3 minutes long, and I want everybody to listen to what this man says, because what he says is exactly what I have been saying for the last year and a half, sums it up. And it's exactly what Jay just said just now. I want everybody to take a listen to this, because it is very, very important what he says here. I mean, it's literally everything that we've been saying. And all I have to do is just make sure I can find it real quick, because I had it. But it's just, it goes, okay, here we go. I got it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up right now. Let me go ahead and share it. Yeah, this is amazing, because it literally says everything that and now it's 3 minutes. It feels like a long time, but it's not. Just let it play through, guys. I promise you'll love every second of it. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Everyone's, oh, this is the most important election. No, the most important election of our lifetimes from here on out is the next one. Okay. And then the one after that. And then the one after that. And if Republicans don't make these things into law and get this through their head, they're going to lose. And Republicans are going to sit there in the minority scratching their head. I don't understand why we didn't have turnout. The better question is, Mike Johnson, why would we show up to vote? You haven't thrown a single person in jail. There's no accountability for COVID. And New York Dems ran the guy who literally stuffed elderly patients into retirement homes with COVID and killed people. They blocked meds that would have saved lives. They shut down schools. They forced people to get a vaccine against their will, who then got heart conditions and nothing happened. And they lied about it, coming from some dude that it was in he ate a bat in a wet market, while Fauci and his cabal were killing beagles and funding the Wuhan coronavirus lab, and expected us to believe that it didn't come from a lab in Wuhan named coronavirus. No one in jail for Russiagate, for censorship. Not one of the 51 former Intel officials who told us that Hunter Biden's laptop was a Russian plant. It actually does turn out that Hunter Biden was, in fact, smoking crack in bathtubs with hookers. You failed to indict Letitia James for like the third time today, because you did it wrong the first time. Still haven't charged Adam Schiff for the same mortgage fraud. Looks like James Comey is probably going to get off scot-free. And the best the Republicans can do is, here's $800 million more for Ukraine. Why the hell would Republicans be excited to vote if Trump's not on the ballot? You want to keep your majority? Throw 100 people in jail for political corruption and all the corruption that Doge uncovered. None of those people are in jail. That's like low-hanging fruit, including everybody involved with the auto pen primary, all the 21 state senators in Indiana who just voted with Democrats to oppose congressional redistricting for their own party. They essentially just gave up 2 seats. Abolish the filibuster and just start getting stuff done. Give us nationwide reciprocity. Abolish the income tax. But while you're at it, let's deep six the IRS, and then you can sell the building or drone strike it or do whatever you want so nobody can come back to it. And then you can tell the Muslims seeking refugee status to do it in the 56 surrounding Muslim countries that they have rather than here, so we don't have to pay their benefits. You do that, you'll gain seats in the House. We'll have 300-seat majority. People like me will be excited to go out and vote, because we're not right now. Because if you do that stuff, man, Mike, I'm telling you, I will legit run through a wall like the Kool-Aid dude to get to the polls. But if you don't, you'll lose.
There you have it.
Man. Oh, man. The only thing I'm glad about, Jack, is that we still have a little less than a year, 10 months or so before the midterms, 11 months. That's what I'm glad about. It's a long time as far as politics goes. Things can happen, but a lot of the things he's talking about need to start happening. That's just bottom line. Because, right, President Trump is not on the ballot. His presidency is on the ballot. He is not physically on the ballot, and it has been a problem, as we've known, for Republicans.
It will be a massive problem if we don't get any justice.
We talk all the time, but I didn't tell you this. The last couple of days, I've been getting frustrated with the president, and I would run through this brick wall that you see on our screen. I'd run through it to vote for him again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm starting to get a little annoyed when he talks about Ilhan Omar's married her brother. Why then is she still in office?
Exactly. Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
They bring all this shit up, but nothing happens.
Right. And then yesterday he said, we're going to be releasing the evidence of the election fraud from 2020. Well, if you have the evidence, I don't want you to release it. I want it sent into a court. I want people indicted. I want people arrested for this.
Wait.
What do you mean?
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. I wanted to say something right there.
No, go ahead.
What you just said was perfect, because I'm going to tell you why Elon Musk really left. You guys want to hear something really good? I'm going to tell you exactly why Elon Musk really left. And this is a tweet from a friend of mine. It's at Kevin MAGA 2024, Ultra MAGA Kevin. I'm going to read this to you guys real quick. It says, on the day Elon Musk announced his departure from the Trump administration and appeared visibly downcast during an Oval Office event, I realized something had gone awry. Just days earlier, he had hinted that arrests related to fraud, particularly involving the Social Security Administration, were imminent, possibly as soon as the next day. However, after his Doge team reportedly uncovered and shared evidence of major wrongdoing in federal programs, no prosecutions followed, and those involved faced no consequences. The explanation offered is that the alleged perpetrators were connected to a powerful, influential network with significant financial sway over politicians and key figures in the administration, allowing them to evade accountability. The complete absence of any arrest stands as the most disheartening evidence of just how deeply corrupted our system has become. Elon Musk got in there. He realized that nothing was going to happen. He said himself, there's going to be arrests coming soon, as early as next week. When he realized that wasn't going to happen, that's why he left.
That's why he decided to cut bait and go pay attention to his company.
That's exactly why he left.
It would discourage me if I was Elon. I mean, especially after all the stuff he went through doing that job. I mean,
he put Doge together to get accountability, and no accountability followed even after he found major evidence. That's why he was comfortable enough to say, we're going to have arrests from the Social Security Administration as early as next week. When he found out that wasn't going to happen, despite unbelievable, incredible evidence, he knew what was really going on.
Yeah. And as I said, he went through a lot, and he sacrificed a lot personally, with his company, with those Tesla protests. I know people have short memories. We all do. Remember what he went through during that time, what his company went through, the personal attacks he went through, his company, his dealerships being firebombed, his employees being under siege. And then to have that happen, I'm sure he was extremely, extremely discouraged. And yes, Deborah, that was Carl Higbee, Jack. That's who that was. I believe that's his last name. On Newsmax.
Okay, yeah, and I've been saying this for about a year and a half. That's why she said Jack has been saying this. Tell me Carl doesn't listen. He might watch the show. Who knows? We know Roger Stone does. We know, a few other people do. So, a few other famous people. Who knows who watches the show these days? But
Red Thistle, he said up top right here, he did say he heard that the federal attorney general is investigating the Cali fraud issue. Bill Essel. I've heard the name.
It's very possible. I have not seen anything to that effect, but I will tell you that who is the federal attorney general? You mean the California attorney general? Because the federal attorney general is Pam Bondi, and she's not doing shit.
He might be thinking the Attorney General in California.
The Attorney General of California will absolutely not actually investigate this. Now, he might say he is, but let me tell you, nothing, absolutely nothing will come of it.
Not the Attorney General, not the State Attorney General, the federal DA.
Oh, you're talking about the district attorney?
Yeah, the federal district attorney. I think that is Bill Essel. Somebody could check on that for us. We believe me, as much as we try to know everything.
Such a thing. District attorneys don't investigate. They more along the lines of have the investigators do work and then send them the results. I don't know if they can. Honestly, let's say there's investigations by everybody. I honestly don't think they'll come of anything, because if they are people that live in the state, it needs to be out-of-state people to investigate this. If it's people that live in the state, Gavin Newsom is too powerful and the Democrats run the state. That's why it's a shithole.
Well, like most blue states and most blue cities, even blue cities in red states. Take Memphis, for example. Oh,
God. Well, now there's a different reason that Memphis is a shithole, and I'm gonna give you a few more cities. I want to see if you can pick up on the characteristic here. Okay, Detroit, Memphis, New Orleans, Atlanta, Baltimore, St. Louis. We got a similar characteristic to all these cities.
I got it.
Thank you, and I hope everybody else does too.
I got it. Listen, I got it. But
it's the majority.
Did you hear, Jack, about this acid attack in Savannah, Georgia?
Also, same majority.
You heard about it. Now, this, again, no arrest been made.
Nope.
No arrest.
Well, we know who it is.
And now we're saying, no, we don't have a motive. Okay, well, can we at least think of maybe she was leaving a church gathering? She was right? And she was attacked walking around. I believe she's walking around in a park, around the track or something. And somebody comes behind her and dumps acid on her head. Now, this is the stuff that happens in Europe, right? Because of all the garbage that's been in Europe.
And
now
let's be real. Yeah. Anybody that says race is not a factor is kidding themselves. This guy was black and the woman was white.
I'm getting tired of it. And Jack and I both say, I don't want anybody attacked due to their race, and it shouldn't go anyway. But when it keeps going one way and nobody's got the guts to say it, that's a problem.
That's why I'm happy to say it. That's what I was talking about with the majority. I know Jay got that as well. Those cities that I mentioned earlier are unfortunately black majority cities, and but they're not just black majority cities; they're Democrat majority cities also.
Oh, absolutely. That again, you could. I would say this: the Democrat. Look at Jacob Fry in Minneapolis. Look at this guy, Jack. You know how he won. I don't know if everybody's aware of this. We have tribal wars, of Somali tribal wars going on in our own country, where Jacob Fry. Remember, he ran against the guy.
Oh yeah, the two Somali tribes. One voted for him. One vote. Yeah.
Correct. So he basically he was, smarter than the guy who looks like the Captain Phillips guy.
He kowtowed to the majority Somali tribe. Yep.
Correct. So Jacob Fry's as white as the driven snow. But guess what he's doing? He's ruining that city too. And you see him speaking Somalian and the pandering. I can't take it.
These people are willing to sell their soul, sell who they are just to get power. And let me tell you exactly what's going on here. It's another part of the globalist thing that we talked about, how the global cabal is trying to weaken every country in order to take it over. What they do is they arrest good Samaritans like a Daniel Penny, parade him in front of your face. That way, when something like an acid attack, when something like a shooting or a knife attack is happening, nobody comes to your aid. They don't want somebody to come to your aid. They don't want the police to go in there either. So they do whatever they can to demonize the police. They do whatever they can to make sure all the weakest people are policed now. All the people that have, transgender police, or people that, like the Australian police out there, taking pictures with, chicks with dicks, but they're, got their hands up when it comes to a freaking a Muslim attack. They're making sure that the police are their weakest, and they're making sure that nobody comes to your aid. That's the whole point of the Daniel Penny arrest. That's the whole point of the defund the police. That's the whole point of everything they're doing to weaken every country.
And I was shocked when Daniel Penny was acquitted by a Manhattan jury. Shocked.
You're telling me. But the effect happened. They don't care that he was acquitted. It served its purpose.
Yeah. You don't want to be Daniel Penny having your life absolutely ruined because you did the right thing.
Absolutely. It served its purpose. The purpose was the propaganda, and it served it. For 160 days, his face was plastered with handcuffs behind his back. Is he really a thug or, murderer, black murderer, whatever it is? That's exactly what's going on.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Exactly again. You cannot come to anybody's aid in America, and they weaken the police as much as they can, so that way nobody comes to your aid.
Jack,
and
they
you
even
look,
they even do it to the police when they come to your aid.
They do. They do it to the police too. They try to make sure. Did you see where? Oh my God! I saw, and I did not see the video, but I saw the picture where this police officer was arresting someone, and another guy came up behind her and slit her throat while she was handcuffing this guy. And I'm thinking, holy shit, when you're a cop handcuffing someone, now you got to worry if a bystander is going to slit your goddamn throat behind your back.
Listen, I'm glad I'm off the job.
That's the new America. That's the imported America.
Yeah, no, listen, there are things going. Listen, Andrew Wilkow, I give credit when I quote something, when I know there's something good. You can't bring everything from there here without here becoming there.
Absolutely. You import the third world, you become the third world.
That's it.
Real quick, though, before we go, I got two good things. I want to end this on a good note. There's two good things that are out there, okay?
Yep.
One, our beloved Donald Trump did just declare fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. Yep. That is massive because it will allow for the boat bombings to continue, which I absolutely love, by the way.
Yep.
There have been multiple times when he's bombed a boat, and I went out there and got any of the cocaine that was left. I've sold it and made a great living.
All right, take that back. He's only kidding.
Yeah, right. Like, so they blow the cocaine up too, just
Jack,
so people know.
You the guy trying to climb onto the boat?
Yeah, that was me. Well, no. See, the proverbial square groupers, they wash up right on the beach. I just go out there and collect it. No, they're in international waters, man. I don't know where they are. Nobody's gonna get that cocaine. It's blown into bits,
Yeah, it sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah, but anybody that actually believed that when I said that, they've got more problems than my
They
problem.
think men can get pregnant, Jack. Anybody believes
There
that
you
thinks men can get
There
pregnant.
you go. There you go. Now there was one more good thing that I wanted to put out there. If I could find, there's two more good things. One, per a Johns Hopkins study, and this is why I'm so smart, okay? Well, not me actually, but this is why Jay is so smart. Let me put it that way. This is why Jay is so smart. Per a Johns Hopkins study, sniffing your own farts boosts cognitive health. That is per a Johns Hopkins study in the New York Post. Sniffing your own farts actually improves cognitive health, brain function. That's why Jay is so quick and smart. Because he's been sniffing his own farts for a long time now.
No, I'm just older than you. I'm just older than you. That's all that is. And if that was true, I should be a genius, Jack. A genius.
Maybe you are. Maybe you are. Maybe we don't even. Maybe you really are. And you try to hide it because you don't want anybody to know you're sniffing your farts. Maybe that's what it is. There was something actually good though that I wanted to put out there besides just the fentanyl thing. There was something else that was really good. If I could just find it for 2 seconds. I don't know. You got anything to say real quick before we go while I'm looking for this?
No, well, when you brought up our beloved president, which he is beloved to us, but I thought you were going to get into this truth he put out today about Rob Reiner, but we don't have to. We don't have to. It's going to be talked about ad nauseum probably for the next.
Well, you can go ahead, while I'm looking for this. Why don't you go ahead and talk about it for a second? Break it out.
So obviously, if you haven't heard, Rob Reiner, who is a famous director, famous actor, made cut his teeth really on All in the Family in the early 70s.
One of the worst possible human. I mean, I don't care if he died. I'm not celebrating his death like the left would. I'm just saying he's a terrible human being.
Yeah. So here's what happened with Rob Reiner. He was killed last night. It looks like his son, allegedly his son, murdered him and Rob Reiner and his wife, slit their throat. So this morning, and Rob Reiner has been very, very critical and very unfairly harsh and just downright disgusting to President Trump. President Trump put out a truth today. It says, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration has surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. That was the truth, Jack. It has drawn a lot of criticism. And
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
My problem with it is this. Rob Reiner is not a politician. Rob Reiner has no influence over policy. Rob Reiner wasn't Jack Smith. Rob Reiner wasn't any politician that's tried to put Donald Trump in prison and torture his family and torture his supporters through lawfare. Do I like Rob Reiner? No. Do I agree with Rob Reiner on anything? Absolutely not.
He's a horrible human being. I don't care what anybody says.
And we could agree on that. But he was murdered by his, apparently, allegedly, like I said, by his son. Now,
I have my own theories on that.
Well, that is karma of the 10th billionth degree.
You got that right.
You won. You, President Trump, you won. You're the president number one. You beat him and everybody else, every other stupid celebrity that tried to keep you out of the office. And Rob Reiner did not meet a peaceful end. He met an awful end, getting murdered, it looks like, by his child.
Well, what you put out into the world comes back to you.
That's what I'm saying. So here's my thing. It was unnecessary. It's a distraction, and all it does is give the left red meat to throw at us now and say, oh, see, Charlie Kirk, you guys were going about Charlie Kirk. To me, there's no comparison what they did with Charlie Kirk. It's disgusting. They were celebrating and mocking this man's assassination, but it just gives them something, Jack. And I'm like, this was a rake. He stepped on it. It's an unforced error. We didn't need it. We have so many other things to worry about, including how many things we talked about on this show alone.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, while Trump is the president and a politician, many people forget that he's also human. He has the same human opinions that anybody else does. I think Rob Reiner was a horrible human being. I think what happened to him was a result of choices that he made probably 30 or 40 some odd years ago, if you want the truth. And I'm not going to talk about that here because it's horrible. But, I mean, I think what happened might have been the result of his own choices. And, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not celebrating the man's death. I'm not like the left. I'm not making stabbing motions to my chest and smiling.
Correct.
So
we're not making like mocking how he was apparently murdered.
No.
We don't do that.
We're mocking how he lived.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could do that. You could absolutely do that. But I just felt like it was, it was just not necessary. And I still love President Trump. I still support him a million percent.
It wasn't necessary, obviously not, but
necessary.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, the left is going to find something to chew on regardless. So
correct. You're correct. It's just, I don't know. We don't need it right now. We have after this weekend. Let me tell you something, Jack. This weekend. Oh my God. I couldn't wait for the weekend to end because we got to get out of this weekend. What a weekend.
Yeah. It's been it's been rough. It's been a very, very terrible weekend all the way around,
Absolutely.
Man, oh man. Yeah, it's been rough. But
like Red Thistle said, he's enjoyed the show and he's able to catch. He'll check us out again. Yeah, absolutely. Come back, Red Thistle. Good to have you.
Yeah, where did you see that at? I never see people say they enjoyed the show.
He's up top a little bit. Let me find it for you. He said, enjoyed the part of the show I was able to catch. There you go. You got it.
Check you out again. Nice job, gentlemen. Well, thank you, Red Thistle, and thank you all for anybody that is watching. And now we are doing shows Monday and Thursdays. Don't forget that. We've only been doing Mondays. Last Thursday was our first Thursday episode, and we will be doing them every Monday and Thursday now. That way that there is, more content and more us, frankly. We are back by popular demand. Yeah. I must say, everybody said, hey, I want to see more Jay. And I'm like, who am I to deny you, more Jay, so that's what's going on. Jay, I do think that we have solved all the problems we can for 1 week, but actually not even 1 week, just for a few days, because we'll be back on Thursday to solve the problems of Tuesday and Wednesday.
Absolutely. It's like, Jack, like you said, we could do this every day and still go for an hour and a half.
Man, we could probably talk. We could have one of those Truman Show type networks where we're on 24 hours a day and just talking about the shit that goes on. There's just so much going on in this 24-hour news cycle that we call life. And I will say that we did a pretty good job solving the world's problems today. You know, we outed the globalist cabal and their plan. Let's just hope people are smart enough to listen and do something about it, like Bulgaria. We're looking at you, Bulgaria. Congratulations on your great triumph. Let's see if you can do something with it now.
Oh, congratulations, Jack. Congratulations to Chile. I believe they elected somebody who is a conservative. They defeated a communist, and they're really happy. And I think it's Chile.
You're sure? It's Chile. It's not cold.
No, it's not cold. It's Chile, and I think they did it. I think that's where they did it. But yeah, congratulations to them as well.
All right, he said it's definitely Chile. It's not Applebee's. So for Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger, and we hope you have a wonderful night.
You've been listening to Secret America.